So happy to be here. My name is Dysinger. I'm the CEO of Fraternity, and we here have a branch in beautiful Killeen, Texas, 1412 South 4th Street. So I'm going to do a shameless plug. One of the things that's really cool about Fraternity inside the aspect is that you guys, Wall Street, being Methodist, and, those people make a lot of money off security. Yeah. We are a not-for-profit, but we can make a profit, but we are designed as called consumer boards, gems on it, reaches off, volunteer, they are not paid, they volunteer their time, oversee at this time roughly $16 million in assets, and they are there. I am here for you, that's it. So what we are about, not making money for stockholders, we're about our members maximizing their financial wellness. Which you guys know, there's a lot to financial wellness, and a lot of this comes down to management of money. So, if you are, who's from Texas? Let me think of somebody. Matt, the college, okay. I'm not talking to him. I'm talking to people like me, people like you, that are out working, that are military maybe. It just looks like a young audience to me. So you guys, you guys look great. So one thing that most people, they get out of school and they go into the military and they go out in the world and what do? They work. And so when you work, we all have this in common. We get something called that we actually have to get into it. It's up to us to do that. So with that being said, I want to talk a little bit about things that actually don't necessarily build wealth, but they are necessary, and things that make you get those at a better price. So start out with that. Cars are necessary thing, right? You need to get to work, when you get around, it's hard if you don't. A car, let me ask you this. A car, over time, does it go up in value or down? It depreciates. So it's what they call bad investment. It's a necessary investment. So what I would say about the car is necessary bad investment. Now, let's say, and I've heard about this true story here, in fact, we got, early in my career, about $10,000 under his mattress. And that was sat there for maybe 10 years. There's a little bit of a problem with doing that. One, once you get profit, it's that. But two, today, let's say you have $10,000 put in your mattress. 10 years from now, in buying power, what is that worth? How much it does? I'm probably less. But unfortunately, there's something called inflation. So as time goes, that money today is not cost tomorrow. So why would you put it with a heart attack or some other financial institution or invest? Because the rate of inflation, whatever it is, what is it right now? 3%, okay? If you're not earning 3% of your money today, it's worth less tomorrow. So, lesson number one, 401k plan, somebody that you have out there, where it's earning something for tomorrow. Yes, it might need to rainy day fund, but it needs to earn something or it is worth less tomorrow. Now, assets that you have in your life, there's two. Again, I'm not talking about millionaires here. I'm talking about people like us. You're going to have 401k, you're going to have military money coming in. And that's that 401k plan or that IRA, those things are wealth. You're building it up for you when you retire. You guys are young, so you have a ways to go. But you build that money up, but you put it in funds that are interested in college, right? Conversely, there's another asset that you try to get, and that's called home ownership. One of the good things is not like a car. What happens usually you switch free checks, goes up and back. But the question is, what's the best way to acquire and do those kinds of things? And they are, first thing, this is the foundation of it. This flyer right here is called credit. So, does anybody know what credit is? You know what credit is? There's credit. When you come into even credit unions, we don't. Obviously, part of Texas, we don't judge. We have. I promise, we have people come in with not so good credit. And you know what we do? We don't turn a loan down. We don't turn any loan down. Does that mean we loan everybody fix what we do? Let's say life is not perfect, least what I can. And let's say you have some challenging times that you're laying your package, your credit score goes down. That happens. That's life. But we may say, hey, we're not going to owe you the money today, but here's how we can tomorrow. Maybe it's 6 months from now. Maybe it's a year from now. So we pull up something like this. Here's the 5 factors of your credit score. Your credit score, the number 1 factor is your payment history. It's 35% of the score. What does that mean? The bottom looks, what is that? Did you pay on time last year? 40% of it. Then it looks a little bit 30 cents the second year back, and it goes back about 7 years. So if you have late payments, okay, yeah. The key is do everything you can. Cut back in certain areas so you get your loans current. Once you get it current, keep them current. And literally within a year, remember that all looks at that last year the hardest. Your score will go up, I guarantee it. It will go up. That's about 1 factor. When I say pay on time, this is confusing to me with it. Because I always thought about, you should pay your utility bill. I mean, you should. But it's really that model, it's looking at your loans. So, okay, what's loans? Credit card. It's a personal loan. It's a home loan. It's a car loan. Definitely a car loan. It's any kind of that you're paying the money back through a loan. Credit. So most things, pay on time. Number 2, and this one I don't completely agree with, but this is the way the law works. 30% of your score, debt owed, but I'm going to explain that. The model looks at, especially hard, if you have a credit card, and this happens. Let's say Rich went to Belize a while back. Let's say Rich puts out all his credit card based on paid off to get home. Okay. But it looks, in that point in time, when you come in for a loan, and it says, oh yes, $7,000 credit card has $8,000 limit, scores full of low. Because it thinks, okay, you got a limit here, you're close to that limit, the model thinks you're more risk. You may or may not be, but it thinks that, so it's going to score you a little lower. So, to get your score the best you can, try to have a debt 30% of your credit card limit or less. And I understand that's not perfect. It doesn't always work that way, but that's the best way to manage it. 30% of that credit limit. All right. This is the next item. Your credit history is 15%. What they're really talking about there when they say credit, how long have you had credit now? You guys are young. So this goes, this doesn't work well for you. You haven't been out there long enough, but even if you have, and I say this to young adults all the time when I talk to them, these Gen Z, I need stamps credit on every credit card. Get you a credit card, man. Even if you mortgaged your automatic, put up $500, do a little loan. You will be rated at 6 months. You have to have for 6 months, you'll get a rating. By the time you get 1, 2 years down the road, you can have a score. If you're paying off time, it'll be reasonable. It'll be great. It'll be reasonable. That's all you have to do. So credit history is 15%. The credit was new credit, so new credit, which bar recently, what kind of credit do you have out there, what the model's looking for, I will score you down. Let's say you do 3 loans within 6 months. What's going on here? Moving will be fast. and that may or may not be true. That's what thanks. And then type of credit. Just want to see you handle a credit card, maybe a card on, a couple of things out there. So that's what the credit model is. It's right there. So if you guys ever want me to see your score, you said for free. Or to www.annualcreditcreditcore.com. See it for free. Now, if you want to pay a fee, you get to see a little more details. It'll tell you have Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. Those are 3 major bureaus in the United States. You can pay a fee, and it'll tell you exactly why it is maybe it's good or why it's correct. Either way, it goes both ways. So that's on credit. Now, I don't know if I need to go into this because you guys, this is a stellar crowd. I can feel it. So I'm going to go real short on this. It's okay. But I do some talks with some groups that have challenged credit. What I mean by that, they pay late, maybe have bankruptcy, things went south for them. What I tell them? Well, 1, get your credit report to see what's going on. 2, catch up on your payments. Got to do that as soon as you can, because the score's not going to go up till you do that. 3, you ever heard of a guy named Dave Ramsey? He always talks about, I don't agree with everything, but most of it he's dead on. You need emergency fund. We all do. I do. Because why? Visa. Have you guys ever raised kids and pay kids?
I'll wait till you do.
I believe that. Our kids expensive. Oh, yeah. Woo! Yes. And it's different from my day. I'm old, but I get daughters in the softball competitive, son, tennis, track. You get down for free. And then what happens? They get sick, and the insurance will let us back. And then they want all this electronic stuff. I'm going to understand. It's not very exciting. Yeah. But when you have kids, especially, I have empathy, and it's not perfect. And stuff is going to happen. You make the bank rebuild. Things happen. You're in trouble. So I tell them as soon as you can, get it current, pay your credit cards down to 30% of the limit, and keep checking the score every 6 months. So it will get better. Couple of pointers, you guys. I'm talking around crowd to like here, but I'm going to say this real quick. Late payments are removed after 7 years. 7 years. Bankruptcy, 13, check with 13. That's probably not what anybody being at that, but 7 years. Bankruptcy, chapter 7, it's on there for 10 years. If it happens to you, it's not the end of the world. Now, you can pull that. It takes time. Foreclosures on there, 7 years. Tax liens unpaid, 10 years. 7 years. Collection, 7 years. By the way, that's one thing I do want to say that I feel, especially, and I'll leave this, but some young men fall in this trap. They get roommates, and then, this guy was just to pay, and the utility company, they don't see you very much. They'll sure put collection on your credit. What did you joke me $100 shows a collection on. And somebody said, man, that was my roommate. I didn't know it. I said, man, pay it. You need to show it back. But even if you pay it, it'll up your score, but it'll be on there for 7 years. In fact, utility it may have not been your thought, but your name's on it. Okay, that's the way it works. So, at Party Texas, I'm going to give a shameless plug, but I'm coming back to this. We do work with clients that are good people. We have credit issues. What do? We set them down. And I will tell you, any of you have friends or on, they've got some challenge credit. This is where you don't apply for the loan online. None of them. Come in, we have a conversation. We talk about the credit. We talk about how it could position itself there. We may do the loan right then. We may give pointers to get there. But I don't recommend an online in that case. I know your age, the young crowd, wants to go online, and there's nothing wrong with online. We have online, yes. But when you have challenge credits, better come in. It really is. And have a conversation because we want you to get that position. And the other thing that a lot of bankers won't tell you, but I'm going to tell you the secret sauce. When you come in for a loan, this is the sad part. And I don't like it, but you're more at risk statistically. That FICO model is analyzing millions of people and instead of paying. So if you get a car, you pay a higher rate. Say your score is 600, you're going to pay a higher rate, or you go, then the gentleman or woman that make a career 15 score. Is that fair? Oh, you're high risk on paper. I'll leave it at that. I don't always like that. Now, what you may not know, and I didn't know this for a long time, I got a base insurance agent. I said, man, I got pretty good insurance rate. And he said, well, assume that's your credit. I said, we talk that insurance rate, your car, is up a little bit, bad credit. Why is that? I asked him. The research shows more likely to file a claim for bad credit. It's more likely, especially in really bad credit, somehow that car gets up by we fight. It's kind of weird. I don't know if that, but it's true. So good credit helps create wealth. It really does. Because it opens doors for you and it opens them at better rates interest. It's really important. It's one of the foundations of building wealth. I think now, any questions on credit? Because I'm going to switch gears to some other stuff. Any questions at all? Yes, sir.
Yes, I have one question. About now. So what about when you paying off your credit card?
Yeah.
So I said this is you have one credit card and you take it and you pay it off with another credit card and those interest rate. And how did that look on your credit?
That's a great question. I bet. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a kid with asthma, it didn't go perfect.
Listen, when you have a card, you're paying well on time. And you also, as long as you're not within 2 or 3 within a 6-month period, you're fine. And you move it over and you got a better rate. So let's say, you save yourself 3%, miles like worry about that. No, you're fine. You're fine. And then that's aftermarket. That's a great question, actually. Yeah. So you can move to Heart of Texas Credit Union and the models, and you got a better deal. That's fine. That's okay. People do it all the time.
Next question.
Yeah.
Say, for example, you had 3 credit cards. I'd say, one that's balanced. We got to the 2 zero balance. And we paid in a little bit of 5 months. You got 4 or 5 new credit cards. I don't have them. Just take it and you get it and see it. I'll check out YouTube. So you have all this unsecured credit. You guys make you see other credit and secured credit. But 2 credit that you use, does that unsecured credit that's out there that you're not using, does that affect you? Did they get missed?
That's a great question. The answer is no, not really. Not really. It's all about, it used to in the old days, yes. And now, thank goodness, they look more at, they say, hey, Jim's got for it. Don't worry about it. Jim's got the cards. He's got the limits. He's not using it.
Well, it's fine. What here is when you do all of those credit cards, those hard requirements of the industry.
That's true.
That drives that down. So you may make up with your debt to income ratio where you have a lot of money that looks like that, but those hard requirements things on there for 2 years.
Yeah. So
that's another, now let's see on modern insurance back and then, that we have to look at when you're saying I'm going to get all this other credit card because these hard requirements, especially if you're not, they're not for like a house or something like that, where they can't see that. The model looks at it and go, he's got all these hits, what's going on there? And that those hits say, okay, let's just give him 2 points down. Let's give him another 2 points down by 9.
Yeah, that's a great point. As a matter of fact, one of the things they changed in the model making this 5 years ago, it used to be, has anybody ever gone to a car lot? And what do you think about it? I mean, do you enjoy it?
But when you go in, you leave it out in the car, you wait.
Oh, Lord, it's just. So, car dealers are there to make money, and they really know how to do it. And so, there are financial institutions that have a relationship, and I bet we have relationships with dealers, honestly. And they send electronically, like it's fast. You want to do this time, and all the data's there. And so when you walk in, they may send that phone just one dealer to 5 different financial institutions. And you go to another dealer a week from there, 5 more. And so, people are complaining. I'm not even, I didn't even buy a car, and I've got 10 inquiries. And so the model now says within a short time frame, so if you're out shopping for a couple weeks, it discounts it as 1. I always think that that's because they're all, once you give them your information, which I try not to, I get pre-approved to credit unions, so I don't have to go through all that. But then they make it, like the F&I guy, he'll make it like you have to, no, you have to go through me. Why does he do that? Does anybody know?
Because he gets security.
Oh, yeah. There's no commission off that finance. We don't get that for free. Secondly, then you get where I'm really passionate, because the F&I, listen, we sell extended warranty gap insurance. Once gap insurance, it means if you pay even 10% down before you buy a credit, you're still going to be upside down. It's an appreciated asset. So the insurance company insures you that only have to pay the market value of that vehicle. And then you raise that pay you're on. I said, you got my kidney, it was over $3,000 after the insurance. It's like, what? I said, yeah, that's per gap insurance company. They'll pay that bridge. If you pay a big down payment, say 20%, you probably don't need it. But as the dealer's going to sell it, he's going to sell that. It's probably about twice what we charge at Monopoly out. Then there's a thing called extended warranty. Extended warranties can be good, depending on your circumstances. If something bad happens, it covers the car. Can be good. I say it that way. I mean, honestly, there's times if you're flush enough and all that, and you can afford to repair some major habit, I'm not sure you need it, because an extended warranty, those are more expensive than dealer. What's happening to that guy guys? He hits a cut. True story. Sometimes when I see it on younger, and we'll literally call it if we see it. We'll see it in the extended warranty, it should be $2,000. They'll sell it for $4,000. They literally up that in the moment. And especially if it's young men, that demographic, that's horrible. That's horrible. It goes on all the time. It's not regulated. I will say that. So when you're getting into a car, be aware of those extra like dent protection and stuff. Don't take it. Extended warranty gap, make. So that's my little patch to spill on that. Other questions on credit?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
My question is, the banks, the insurance, everyone does not use the same model.
That's a great question. Oh boy. Yeah, you're right. Well, see, for one, there's 3 credit bureaus out there, and they're very similar, but they're not exactly the same. So my score can be different on TransUnion than Experian. And so the financial institution, whether it be credit bureau bank, it's whatever all of them look. And then of the FICO score, there's a couple of models. Like there's a model, and this might be good, that's really designed to analyze whether you pay car loan versus the model is different. When you get auto loan, they pull bureau from everybody. I mean, it is, well, yeah, they're gonna see this for all 3 bureaus. It's more complex, but it's more accurate. But you're right, there's different models, and the good news is they're fairly similar, but they're not exact. So if you pull something up on annualcreditboard.com and it says you're at 800, and you go to the dealer and set 747, he's not lying, that's what he's saying. So where do you think they know you? Well, that's a weird part. See, I've been careful what I say here, but I think Experian in this part of the country in central Texas, it was actually good. TransUnion tends to be a little less direct because they're really more on the east-west coast. So most of the time you'll see scores from Equifax or Experian. If it's TransUnion, your score lower, don't feel bad about it. Because they could be. And that's pretty common. So I'll say that. And then, yes, sir, you have a question.
It really depends on the region in terms of interest rates. They could be comparable. So I've purchased some cars from here, and sometimes you could shop around and I'll purchase a car from that area just simply because it's a bigger deal based on the region. You know, same thing with insurance. When you're searching for insurance, it's really by zip code, right? And things like that. And so the second thing about the credit piece is late payments. They really, I've noticed they really get panic your score like that way. And then keeping up with your having your address correct in the system, as well as having a monitoring service, just make sure that you know folks not tapping into your stuff and you from moving money from immediate credit in different locations. Like the biggest thing that's going on now is like the tech industry in terms of like cable and things like that. Those are the things that I noticed that really impact like immediate credit scrutiny. So what we are to adjust, correct, to get correct, and touch the right person to get it moving back, right? So
For you, Becky.
That was good. You're right. I didn't want to say that, but
I love Arkansas too. I love Texas. You guys drive slow.
so
I would say that the rates and regions do differ a little bit. Texas is pretty good, so don't worry. There's way worse. I came from Louisville, Kentucky, and out there definitely go higher rates. Everything costs more. Everything. I can't believe how cheap it is here compared to there. It's unbelievable. Housing, everything cheaper here. Gas cheaper. I bet right now, what did I pay coming up here? $2.89. They're probably paying $4. Big difference. We're in the oil country. All right. Hang it up before you leave because it's $2.73. Yes,
I don't know where to go. So I'm fairly new to Texas, but I love Texas, love it.
I could go all day on that, but I really like the people that are very straight like who they are.
Any other questions on credit?
Yep.
And this happened to be right. I paid the car note, right? And I have about 2 different car numbers. But when I paid the car number, I paid the wrong one. And so within, it took they was calling me, but they like, yeah, it's Frank called. So I was like, I'm saying that. And so it took like 3 weeks for me to figure out that, hey, I paid the wrong car number. And so I know they got hit, but I explained to them what happened with it, and they sent me the money back for the car I paid on. So they had to send me that money back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I ended up with I thought my credit score was like 820 and the bank 8 something. Then my credit score dropped like almost 30.
Yeah.
30 or 15.
Yeah, but you can dispute that. So if you ever get something, and it does happen, and I promise the banks and credits are perfect. If they write something wrong, you can dispute it. You can go to that credit bureau. It's a little bit of pain, but to Experian, which you're wanting to find out what's on it, and you can dispute it. And they, by law, within 60 days, have to get it off there.
And I also would say that. So the dispute will fix the issue. If I just go back in and try explain what has to do with that situation.
Oh yeah, they should definitely take it off. Honestly, it's not hard to take it off. It's just a click in the computer system. That's it. Real easy to do. Now, two, I didn't think because some people ask me this. When you say late, I'm not talking about 15 days late. You know, the model's looking at it, if you're 30 days late or more, because you know the old days, you mail a check or maybe electronically it gets messed up, and that does happen. And so there's kind of built in some time for you to fix that up. That's cool. That's a great question. Anything else on credit?
Yeah, the big question.
Yeah.
It is, I thought, you know, it is like mortgage.
Oh yeah, that's the next thing.
Wow, this,
Can I? I don't answer it though. I got to tell you a story that quick. I'm sorry, this is came by. I'm a young guy. I'm a law officer in that big crate kid. And this couple comes in, probably 30 years old. He's got this is with ConocoPhillips. I'm working for their credit union. So these, this guy's a computer programmer. His wife comes in. Something really disturbing to him happened in that they sit down and it's a joint over in the car. So I'm just going over. You got this and pull a crate for him. Why would you pull a crate for it? I'm just saying, okay, we got $5,000 that did what hers to I play money. And I saw his face go literally red, bright red, and I'm thinking, okay, what's this happened here? And so we ended up doing the love. Nothing else is said on it until the guys we met, not guys he met me with it. So I'm in the gym working out, and that guy comes in. And he says to me, I never signed up for dealer's card. You said I was joining. I said, sir, I'm just telling you what the report says. Okay, so the wife, will stay at home, take care of the kids, has maxed out a dealer's card. He didn't know it too. 6 months later, he's divorced. Now, come on, work it out. This is what I'm saying. Yes. That I could tell you other stories. That just came to mind, all right? So, before you bring up what's credit cards, because folks need credit cards, especially younger people, college students. I got a credit card and the state don't realize that the big deal. Then I'm maxed out, so my credit score affects it because the percentage I've used. We'll talk about the importance. There's nothing wrong with credit, but use it wisely, not credit. Oh man, now I'm asking about this. It's like on the car dealer because what's not really good for I don't mean this bad. Listen, I've got kids. Let's tell you, I got 3 kids, 27 years old, 27 years old. They're twins, and then 29. But all right. I gave the sermon, and I said, "Man, credit cards. Number 1, don't max them out. Hurts your score. Number 1, pay them on time. Number 2, no max that." But the other thing is, credit cards are deceiving. They really are. Be careful. Calling us. They have a pretty low payment, but the interest rate's powered. It's hard. It's the highest rate you get around the markets. Credit card wide, there's more risk. But if you make the minimum payment, you'll be paying on that for, it depends on the card, it could be 7-10 years. It's ridiculous. So that's something that I preach to the young crowd because they sometimes like credit cards. Be careful. Be careful because that Christmas is a lot of fun, but you got to pay that same back. We got to pay that money back, and that's really hard. And the other thing I'll task here, but I got to say this to you guys. You said some of you have kids. Yeah. Look at it. And when you're a kid, you're not old enough, but if the plaque have gone through school, all that stuff. It's not Jim's to be like with this, but one of my sons had something called a student about, and coached him. I just needed an old thing. I'm not good. So I explained to him, and he's out now, and, all that stuff. And he says, yeah, and it's not that big. I said, son, that payment is going to go out for 10 years. You really want to be paying them for 10 years? You need to pay more. And he was like, on high. Because you're paying interest on it's costing you money. You need to double that payment. And so student loans are a segment that they can be good. It's investing in your future. I understand that. But it can be bad. But when you go to the colleges, universities, there are people there that aren't in their coins well as they should be. It's getting better. It used to be more. But in other words, if your parents out there, it's time the kids to understand, well, you can borrow this much. Well, God, I need a little extra gold spring money to that spring might become very expensive over time. So you always want to tell them, really budget out what you really need. The parent needs to sit down with the coach. Because that's a track, man. It can't be. It can't be. It can't be.
Another shameless plug.
What do you know?
There are, if you got a kid going to college, like we got a scholarship that are given away. So there are scholarships that businesses have. And I think I'm not familiar with who it was, but she's working for the president.
Yeah, she was the president, and she was shot at. And that kept saying, you would have to tell me, Rich, what the president of Marty, Texas, that was shot by movies. Yeah, Luke Smith, 1992.
But we have a scholarship no one knows about. Remember, it's all
Yeah.
the members know about it. And then those are the types of ways you can make your money continues to work on you by telling credit unions that have those type scholarships and send your kids
yourself. Yeah, and scholarship support, there's a lot of them out there too. And, one of the things we are very proud of, if we're an EDI credit union, was that we my authority designated institution. So we, not only our board's diverse, but our staff's diverse. We, our membership's diverse. So it's not a country club or anything like that, right? And so, the way it should be. Any other questions on credit? Credit is fun for me. It can be kind of boring. There's a banker back. You could have put back. Another lot. Maybe. I got to get a cheat sheet here on this one, but home buying tips. Home buying tips. Oh, sorry, but no page there. We talked about credit, but homes are different than personal loans and car loans, and just most banks, credit unions now, you have to have a 620 score better to get through. What? In 2008, 2009, we had a big debacle. And you might ever see the movie, I think it's called The Big Short. You ever looked at it? There's a lot of truth to that. It really was crazy at that time. We didn't do it. Well, I was in there for credit. We didn't do any crazy lending, but there were things they want verified income. You might have not paid anybody in your life in a $300,000 home. And it was horrible for people. Horrible for people. Because the last thing you want to do to anybody is put them in something they can't afford, That's not good for anybody. And when you go out shopping for homes or cars, whatever, it's hard. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. And so it's the job of everything institution, and it's better, that they try their level best to get you in something that is going to be affordable. But the other part of it now, it's more regulated. Since then, pretty much going to have a 620 score better. So before you go shopping, you guys, pretty stuff you already know you qualify. And that's great. Your score's good, you're unqualified. You know that. But for the upper crowd, really talking about, you got to get that 620 level. It's imperative or more. And if you're at a 620, you get provincial line to around 720, you're ranking people higher than somebody's at 740. And that matters like home loan, because it's all bigger about it. Now, know the credit score, do a self-check before you go shop. Second thing, your gross income per month, whatever it is. And when you add it to this, anybody ever heard the term debt ratio? The net ratio, the level two, what it is, what it means. It just adds up. So all the bankers doing, so now this you do yourself. Loans you have, credit card loan payment monthly. Your expected house payment monthly. Your car loan monthly, personal one, total month. Divided by your monthly trials, that's your debt ratio. It needs to be 40% or less. Damn. What I really think. That's not bad. I think it's better around 36 or less. 40 is the number. And then people ask me this all the time. How much should I be paid on a home versus my income? I'll tell you that number. Dave Ramsey believes 25% of your net income as your house payment. I disagree a little bit with him here. I say 25% is good when I'm raising 3 kids, yes. When I've had just wife and I have 2 dogs now, 30% of your net in a home's fine. 30% of your home's fine too with 1 or 2 kids. It just depends on your life, really. But you could be a little higher than Dave said. Dave also says 15-year luck saves you a lot of money. He's right, but let me say the other side of this. We talked about wealth. In young couples, the house creates wealth over time. So if you buy a home initially and you're like gentleman up and comer, I don't think it's anything wrong working with 130 years to get you in a home that you're going to be satisfied with for a long period of time. It has just a philosophy, but especially young couples, 30s, okay, if they're getting more mature like myself, yeah, that's different. When I came here to Texas, yeah, I want to go on 15 year. Well, I'm not going to go out that far. I'm not really actually paid a 10-year, but that's just me. The point is, it depends on your place in life. But the main thing is, do these calculations before you go to the bank or credit union, hopefully. And then the other thing that was hard for me the first time I bought, that's expensive, the closing costs. Isn't it frustrating? You realize if you get a home for $200,000, the closing costs are between 3 and 5% of that home price. So it's a lot of money. And then they want you to pay down payment. If you do FHA, it's going to be about 3.5% now. If you're a veteran, no big. Do these. FHA VA loans, this is something cool. Usually, the interest rate's good in regards to credit score. You could say, right? Conventional loans, no. There's a conventional loans help, the less fees out. So conventional loans, and remember this, if your kids are talking about it, you got a 20% down with PMI insurance. PMI insurance means the lender is insured for anything above 80% of the value of the home. They're going to get reimbursed by the insurance company. But it's a cost to you. It's about 1% amount borrowed. And you're paying that cost monthly. So, for example, $100,000 home, I think it'd be about $83 a month. If you don't have 20% down, it's fine. Houses go up value, but I'm just saying, in a perfect world, you'd like to have that. Now, what all does the banker ask if you go to home loan visit? He'd ask you blood. It's horrible. And it's very regulated, so I apologize up front because they ask for 2 years tax returns typically. If you're not self-employed, then if you want to get by with 2 years W-2 and then 2 recent paycheck stubs, and then you gotta show all your bank accounts. Where's the money that you're gonna pay down? What do they do? They really do this, so they don't really talk about it. They want a couple of months that they look at your average balance and show them say they're looking for, they had that money just for 1 day or they just have that period of time. And that's okay. It's just a pay. So that's why the process takes a while. And then they kind of call, right? Because they're in this thing, got to get, they just have to take a turning time opinion. It just takes some time. That's why when you buy a home, it's 30 days out, if not longer. Is it that way? You guys follow down bigger? Yes. Okay. Now, Did I answer your questions on that? No.
Guess the I've solved the question more this. So that my question was, if so, if I would come their financing a home, right?
Yeah.
In my we the a credit,
Oh, yeah.
they can sell all the house.
That's a great question. The answer, truthfully, is right now, yes. And if I may explain why, I'm sorry to say that, but I have to be transparent. When several years back, when a lot of people were refinancing rates were low, we did a lot of those, and so that's long-term interest out there, low rate. And so the federal regulators have something called concentration risk, and you can't hold too much money for long-term. That's how ASNL split during the 80s, 70s. So we are selling up now. Usually we would keep it. But that's a great question. Now, the company we go through, they don't solution to, they don't bug you, you can figure money, I mean, the account at Art of Texas and send the payment electronically, all that. But a lot of the some loans do get sold, that is true. That is true. A good question. And right now, I'm not a list company up there watching the fibers doing what the rates are going to do, but there's certainly some indicators they may lower the rates in the next several months, and they do. That will be good for the housing because how much with it down now? It's a 6.8 buy, something like that. You guys remember? Yeah, probably 2 years ago, when you could get it. 2-3 years ago, you could get a 3 1/4 litres. 30 year. 2.5, 2.5. Good night, 2.5. Oh my gosh, that one in Kentucky. I was in Kentucky. You can get it 2.5. Water that's up late. So that's it. You just brought something up tonight. Why has homes in general not quite moved around as quickly as they used to? Does anybody know? Because you just said it, really. Maybe it's just, yeah. Why am I, if I'm at 2.5%, am I going to sell that home and go to no? Great. I got people.
No.
Are you going to refinance at 2.5 by home?
No.
Well, I don't know. But certainly, what you're raising out there, you feel from them because you know how you're just starting out beating this time and you're trying to get the home, you're having your kids, and when that rate's at a 6.857, I mean, yeah, it's harder. And the homes, anybody notice the price of homes the last 3 years?
They go up. They're not worth it.
No, we're not. Thank you for saying that. That was transparent. So I gotta ask you this. So what happens? I know someone who bought home for about $650K at 7%. It was like $5. So when they told me I couldn't ship it, I go, $5. Wow. So what happens when it goes down? That's not good things. Well, that's a great question. So what I advise my clients, then I've got a sell rate, have locked in a higher rate that like to be is they got fixed rate. The only way to rate them down, and for us people like taking this, I tell you probably not, they're on fixed rate. That rate didn't go down, the market goes down, it's still has it. But what they can't do, I was like, do it right away though. I would wait to see if the market comes in, it's going to work. The rates will go down, but you got fees when you do that. You're like, it's not me. You don't want to I can tell. For your friend. She liked it. Let me go down several times before you go and refinance because there's the cost of it. Yeah, you want to refinance. Yeah. You definitely would. And I don't know if the rates did go down a little bit, really good for sure our young generation. Or just so.
Like I said, well, I got stuff on that. I used to be in selling insurance down. And I saw the mortgage real estate ruled down here. They tell the people it's a just date the rate. So they'll buy the house at that high interest rate, and then laid off, you find that's how the mortgage is going to be the sound. So
It's interesting.
yeah,
I've not heard of that.
yeah, this is. I mean, they're putting that out. That's like a weekly collection. That he's saying, but they say all the time that for you get comments from Texas A&M, and they'll just give you the whole rundown.
Okay, I have a question for you.
I work for VA.
I'm going to ask about insurance because on my home year, the rate's really, really good. It's better than Kentucky. And I assume if you were in Houston or something like hurricane area, wouldn't it be like the rates low here on dollars?
Is this just the you know, it's like a place? There's certain places that when these like
It's the air.
yeah.
You go to Austin, Philly, high rate of year.
There's just strange. You got hurricanes and floods and Houston. Yeah. So it's like, hey, we're not even selling it in Houston. That was the thing in like 2020.
Right.
Yeah. It'll red flag the whole zip code because you tried.
So anything in insurance?
It's a subprime.
Oh, man. So they
So Florida, Gulf folks, they get tore up. Yeah. To me.
Here you go. It's interesting. Any of those hurricane, tornado type location insurance systems, I think, yeah.
Yeah. And it will drop you even if you pay a Liberty Mutual.
Yeah.
I still might be.
Yep.
Right. and Louisiana, and the hurricane hit, they will pay you out, but they will not give us another. That's what I give you a company. Each 30 days, you gotta go find somebody else.
And then they do the regional rate.
Yeah.
With gas.
I did not know that. It's
He absolutely, everything said if they'll give you like 30 days and to go fast, you know, carry. So the next thing that I was going to talk about in terms of what it benefits, things that folks can be looking for is because of all of the natural disasters that we've had. Congress and other entities there are tax breaks associated with being in a disaster area or so you have to stay abreast. Tax rates, homeowners, it's tax rate, business owners that are out there for folks because of the natural disasters we have. Because in the last, so we're in about 2.5 years. So I would encourage them to talk to professionals, that it's to about types of things, right? In the CPA, get the most current loans that will put their result out. Yeah, and essentially that we get right off. It kind of recoups some of that $600,000. I should have learned. So I didn't know that. Yes, sir.
So, listen to the reference to going back to what Brother Murray was saying. So he said, hey, it's I'm bringing the highlights major trade. It just walks them right. So sometimes, so in the middle of when you build a home, it takes on this what's almost easy rather than so while you build that home, you might get like 4%. You know what I'm saying? By the time you get the local pennies, you get like 7 or 5%, right? But then you kind of stuck because you invested heavily with it. You're like, so I don't know if that's what they did, but they have something called IR. It's an IRT, it's an interest rate reduction on right. So
then you can buy something.
you can do that and so help you out as far as like getting out of it if it's the next running. I don't know if you do it if you're not yet, but I know you can go in if you are yet, but it's just like interest rate eligible. You do.
I don't think you get outside the
Right.
But that's awesome because that's one of the real downsides of building is you're vulnerable. Is you have this construction loan and what does it take to build? Probably 6 months to a year, build. But some of them take a year. And then what happened in Kentucky, the rates are got oh man, because houses aren't cheap there. So it $800,000 home. I mean, it's hard to buy under $500 there. So it's a lot of money that was involved. If you go for stuff, so then maybe they sell it. Payments more than they can afford. So, yeah, that's a great point there.
That's kind of known that if they are looking at 7.5, then have them check it out and just do some research and write this to IRB because you stigmatize all about the most everybody knows about like refinance or bank or whatever, but and you go refinance. You don't have to go through all of the processes of need to actually go do that actual. You just go pay on the IRA. You basically just tell them you want to do it, and if you or if your loan is dropping within, like I say, 1.5 is J or whatever, and they'll let you do the IRA, let you on. It makes you don't have to do any of that all the other processing and rating. You have credit where they check. They do have to check your credit score, but that's all the way to check your credit score because that they saw that he's straight. They didn't schools right, but you don't have to do a whole lot of other things in reference to the process to get in that mode, right? You might have to, it has a cost analysis, of course, and you have option paying that or lower than that, lower to all, but it's a whole lot with the positive. Yep. So, like, we need that.
Man, that's a great tip. First out, so I got a tip on like a tip on that was really good. Good stuff. So there's two bankers in here. That's awesome. That tip on how to take that process and that. Now, you guys, like I said, you guys are financial advisors. We all live financial lives. So the home, I'm always passionate about that because that's one of the assets that really creates wealth for you. And then there's another thing, and I'm going to ask because I was taught militaries. Was anybody in the military or not? Okay, you guys are awesome. Thank you for your service. I say that passionately. My brother's in the Marine, on Army, Marine. He's a little edgy guy, but he served. But my question is on retirement. I don't know this. I've never asked this. Do they have? I know they have pensions for military, but is there a 401k or anything like that? You could put it up.
Stop this. For spouses or for service? Yeah, it's the most in the service.
It's for saying.
Yes, for like so. If you don't,
Yes. Now,
there's a grandpa. Yes, he's a for
The system changed and grandfathered some of us into an old system, or we could have went to a new system according to where we fell into our retirement range. So I wonder always we need a because that's. But there's a new system where these new guys, 401ks, and their money is taken out.
So like my son's claiming a server right now. So a new price max up to 2%. So he pays part of that into his 401k that he had TSD like so thrift savings on your cards. And his son once he gets out, you save there, or he gets transferred to his own older tick of his shoulders. But he has that now. He has that until he gets out next year. He has that. He gets out 20 years from now. He still has it, but he pays. He doesn't pay anything to it. You don't get anything else for those. Oh, so
That's the new retirement.
But
It's not the same way.
so you still and I thought you had to choose.
Yeah, so
a portion. Is this like a shark that takes over?
you gotta opt in, like he said. And the biggest difference is, like most of us when we retired, if we would not have retired, we would have left the Army without unless you did something on your own, unless you put money in on your homes. If you did not retire, you would not have left with a pissed. Yeah, captains, you got to be able to have to do at least 20 years. Now, the young men and ladies that are coming in, they are given the option, to opt in to this program.
It's not an option. So when they come in, they automatically do 10%. You can add more, but it's automatically 10%. So now that they did it like that, so for the older guys, they gave us the option, which was called the blended retirement. If we would have done that, and then we did 20 years, we would not receive the retirement check and any other benefits. We would have just got whatever our 401k and then moving it with that. So made it cheaper for the Army to do it that way. So for those that were getting out that didn't get a job and they tried to do unemployment, what they didn't know was the Army still had to foot that bill for the unemployment payment. So that's why they give them that to say, hey, we're giving you something to get out with, to go ahead and make your money. So that's why they say it's automatic 10%. You can add it, but regardless, it's going to be 10% or whatever it is that you pay.
So let me ask something. So if you say they automatically put in 10%,
Yes.
you can do 10% yourself as well. Or
I don't know I don't know as high as you can go, but I know no matter what, when they come in, even when they're in basic training, it's 10% of, I believe it's their base, and then they can keep it at that for the whole 20 years, that they can keep adding money into it, but it's at the minimum, it's 10% regardless, because it's automatic. They don't have an option for those that's just coming in now. For older guys, you can pay
10%.
yes.
So it's like your paycheck automatically 10% each first semester goes in. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice.
okay, I thought you'd say this, but my neighbor so did.
So
I think you said something in the back. I want to make sure I understand this. In the old days, you had to do a
20 years.
20 years, so you got nothing.
Nothing.
You 20 years, you got nothing unless you paid into a TSP, where you can pull that as your retirement, and you got to pull that curve. You got a percentage of it. You can pull that TSP. That is my guy at 15 years. I had a TSP. I pulled that. That was my retirement. I put it in something else. I can go on and do my business. That's the old style. The new is your tax is part of like our SGL line. We had to pay that. This we have to pay. It's a tax, but it's not really a tax. It's going to benefit you at the end.
SGLI is sure.
Insurance, okay. That you lose after paying 25 years into it.
You have to
It's nothing out of it. You don't lose it. You just got to stay now. You just got to pay for it. Why didn't you lose it? You said why you was in your army was can't make it so much money. Once you get out, you can't keep it without your book. It's not just your life. Which is a different system now. So you lose to be carried out.
I'm just saying that you're spending you couldn't stop me. You spend the fee regardless. Like when you active duty, you pay a small amount for the retire family. If you retire, you only keep that. It transfer over to BJI, but the rates are high.
It's like COBRA in the civilian world.
Yeah, I understand.
But you let's have this years. That was perspective awesome. It'll be just money. You'll have some money. The problem that I had with it, that it's not. We just pay you bare options. We take no option.
Yeah, and you pray you die.
Emergency.
You got options. You always have options. Yeah. You call to pay by your own dish.
What's the answer?
Before we get
I'm
out.
not bought into the other things.
Stop doing that, So you always have options. There's a plus.
I got this question now. This is interesting to me. So is the new way better for retirement for our military?
Or the new ways. Yes.
I think if someone's educated enough to understand the way they can be very prosperous. I mean, I'm under the whole system, so I have opportunities, to do 22 years, get a retirement check, and before collect the TSP money or flip it like that. So the always the advantage. Some of us were enlisted, some officers, and I feel the other side had more mentorship or more opportunities to get mentored financially and on education and things like that. So unless you have an interest in something, so if these the new soldiers, unless they have interest, so it's going to show them what to do, what needs to be done, or try to convince them, like I tried to convince my son that once he's done with college, he has to move. You gotta go. So hey, you gotta save, hey, you gotta invest, hey, you gotta do this. Because in 20 years, you can be very wealthy, you can live better, you can do this, while I'm living off you now. You're no, that doesn't work. This is fine. This has been function help. Yeah. So I think, for the young folks that are in the military, other new system, they're going to be helped, they're going to be stuff like this.
Yeah.
And I wish younger folks sitting here right now, they could be exposed to this.
Yes. Like,
I agree with him when it comes to that, because a lot of the young soldiers don't understand what a 401k is, and the way the Army presents it is like, oh, you're gonna get money when you get out. So they're thinking that they're going to get the retirement check like us, and that's not what it is. So that's what they don't fully understand, the benefits of what they could do with their 401k, but they're just saying, oh, you'll get money when you get out. And if you have an uncle or somebody that was in the Army already and are getting them a retirement check, that's what these young soldiers think that they're going to get, but no one has told them you're not getting a retirement check for the rest of your life, like we did when we got out. And that's the issue that they're having.
I mean, wow, we need some work there. I don't know if I get on the base or what, but
That's scary to me, because yeah, I think if I was a soldier, that I was thinking, no, it ain't working like, because it's 401k, you can't even dip into it without penalty till you hit it.
I was one of those young soldiers. So they're gonna take 10% and they're gonna spend the rest of that paycheck. And then when it's time, if they got a plan, right? I think that this money retirement system is good for them, because you kind of pull from different sources. You got options, but they don't have a plan. They don't have a mentorship.
I mean, who has like at age 20 though that?
Because they
Who had playing at 20 and 21 years old, right?
well, that's what mentorship.
That's what I'm saying, but in the military, it's not much change. It's undecided because, say, it's money to see.
So the overall new system is more designed to protect more so the Army than it would be the soldier. So the way that they have it set up is to benefit them, because a lot of people was getting out and not having, like I said, not having a job or not having anything, and then they apply for unemployment. But at the long run, at the end of the day, the Army still had to flip that bill. So they're like, we give you something. We ain't say you could use it, but we gave you something. And then now you have to go out and try to figure out how you want to do it and things like that. Because what the Army is hoping that they do is we give you a 401k, and they have so many programs when you get out, like if you want to drive trucks, they have programs like that. They have welding. They're hoping that you actually follow their model that they set up for you, which is you get out, you go do truck driving, you get a job, you get a 401k, the money that you save from the Army, transfer over, now we good, we set you up. That's what they're hoping. But a lot of them soldiers don't know about the program, and the Army is one of those things where if you don't ask the right questions, you're not going to get the right answers. And it's just out there floating. There's so many things that you could do when you get out, but if you don't talk to them, then you don't know. Like me, I was fortunate enough, I knew a lot of retirees, so I was straight. But there is no more mentorship when it comes to things like that within the Army. And that's where a lot of the soldiers are going to fall short when when they get out, trying to do what they need to do as far as getting out and taking care of themselves. So that's it. Like he was saying, it's designed that way for the soldiers to go ahead and try to get a job out and just transfer it into their 401k, so the Army can say, yes, it works, we set you up. But it's not going to work that way.
You see, Phil, it goes back to when you and I talked about the pre-war months ago about the strategic plan for the credit union on the front end to educate how they're coming to us about that, because I know in transition briefs, it's sort of too late in telling me this, right? You know exactly. The soldiers know what I'm talking about. That's a transition brief. It's the brief we get 6 months on exercise, and they're telling us all this wonderful stuff that we should have done and what we can do now. But to his point, that there needs to be an education piece of product to show, to just capture the. We're not trying to sell them anything, we're just trying to educate them, and then they will be able to make educated choices about their money, and hopefully we'll be one of those educated choices. So
That type of opportunity was speak up front, almost with a income brief. So that way, here's options. Say, you always have options. Here's a vehicle that you think about doing these things. Right at the finance class like that, so shipping, so there's either later on, exiting, or maybe something financial bond. That's when you get that. That's his time. departments. When the soldiers come in, I'm trying to understand what, if they sign up for this, it's automatic, you said, right? It's automatic, I mean, what are they told? Nothing. What? Yeah. It's kind of like a blur. It's like, you find something, says, it's organization, they give you all this stuff up front. So you get this part of a whole bunch of information. So, and then you go through this training, you get tossed around, and now you get sent somewhere across the world. Now you're there and you get a paycheck, but you forgot everything they told you 2 months ago. Yeah. Because it's a whole big long situation. So you mentioned going down is adults buried in bags. So it's stuff that's been told to you, but it passes by, forget about it. And nobody ever goes back and say, hey, remember this? Told you this for your first hand man. So now it's 10 years. You hopefully you did showing the 10% TST or whatever you did. You have something set aside, but some people take out because they're family overseas and not smart about it, and they just know that they've been penalized. That's what concerns me is they're going to have this money, and even let's say they do 20 years and they go out, they're still young. I mean, let's say they're 40 years old, but you're going to be incredibly tempted because you're in that child raising years, if you're blessed with that, to pull out of that. And it sounds great at the time, and then suddenly you blink, how life is, and you're 60. Oh, crap. I'm getting a little tired here at work and whatever. And then you've looked through that money, you're not going to have near what you should have had. So that's a really important area to really try to get out there and help with. Yes, sir. One.
As a young soldier, what I saw, what piqued my interest and financial literacy earning was just fire, right? So the first contact that I had with First Commanders a long time ago, right? They were buildings up and down May Highway, and they would have presents on posts. I don't know how they did it. I didn't ask questions back then, but they just had booklets, flyers in the reception area. They had, they gave briefings sometimes during the processing briefs. And so that was my first connection with not only with what the army doing, but how to best who to talk to. The things that I was thinking about back then, I didn't know how to. I knew that I wanted to get to 20 years. I was like making something with folks that are coming in now. I'm part of those 20 years. I knew back then I was pretty long, and so all those considerations. Those are the considerations that you have to preface with these conversations, start with education, because everybody's in a different space. They come from different areas. They have different plans. They don't what they want to do. They don't know what they want to do, but just being present and having that conversation about what if you don't know what your plan is. Well, I can help you with that.
Also, look at the soldiers, the way they come in and how it did all the things work and all the stuff could be. All of these things were TSD work, all this stuff, but they help you the idea of that part. I think just about picture on the same thing life. And so, you guys are talking about bringing, it's like form into the military. Which that the fact of which they think it's life in soldiers first. I mean, it's like saying that we sit there around them, they don't get it. They just sit paperwork, fill it out, we opt in, opt out, don't go clear, understand any negative adulthood. And then that's just how it is. And then after, these soldiers get out there, he's going to what this was want to check them, DS thing, what if people you call it, if you get this type of form. So soldiers understand up in what they're doing before they hop in or opt out, and what it looks like 2 years from now. They never understand what it's going, but it's can do with their TSV or what but they don't get, so
it's hard to get a badge. Yes, sir.
I pay stuff from the 80s. I said private is hard. Still, that's all. It said $500. Think what?
Yep.
Right? Yeah, I'm like, dude,
it's not that that's not
I don't even remember I don't know what I even did with it, because really it was nothing. It was like I was working for free, but I had a place to stay. I had food, and I remember on the weekend, the mess sergeant used to give us the keys
if we could go in there and get food and barbecue or whatever, we don't have to go anywhere. We got in the barracks on Fort Benning, had beer in the machine, you had pool tables, all kinds of stuff to entertain yourself. You didn't have to go anywhere, you didn't have to do things. So that was a meal of life back then. Now, I'll go to lunch somewhere and it's full of soldiers spending their money on lunches. Expensive lunches, Starbucks. They drive pretty nice cars. And I'm like, where you guys getting all this money from? Because I remember I was making pigs. So I don't know. The way that we educate young people and even some adults is you really gotta. I don't know if it's some sort of promise, a contract, or maybe hypnotizing them or something. but the reality is that home ownership and things like that is going away. Cars are getting more expensive. Then I'll wrap this up. We were on a deep sea fishing trip down in Corpus Christi in June, and we were riding out on the water to go catch some fish. I'm seeing all these yachts and boats, and it's like 1,000 yachts out there. And I'm like, well, what in the world are they doing? Yeah, they all must be friends. Because those are the kind of friends that because I've got to be doing something like and that's a good life to those folks who live. I'm happy for them. But I must be in the wrong place. Because everybody out there has a yacht, so think about moving in that direction. I really like one of those.
Let me just say this. The one thing with some of that yacht or some of these cars is thinking, sometimes make that mistake. It's a lot of our money. Yeah, years ago when I was with Common Co. Phillips Credit Union, so I did a lot of business in North Dallas. They had an office there, Richardson. Oh, the culture there. Okay. You gotta have to be Mercedes, and you gotta be in $20,000 credit card. That's just the way it was, right? Mm-hmm. And that was pretty much you saw all the time. So you may have a look of having a lot of money, and you may be an apricot and actually have it, right? It can go your way. But this is so interesting to me because the military that I've always known in my head, you had a pension that 20 years, you got that the rest of your life. And I did not realize, and I apologize to you, I didn't know this, or as you guys in the military, but I didn't realize that they call them
it's a sea change. It's not going from the bridge. Frank used to be way here. But for his son, soldier. And, Ford made a comment about the soldiers not knowing this, having this type of form. We need to have this type of form in our community. This is groundbreaking stuff for us in this community and for the service for our foundation. These are the new types of conversations that wasn't had last year, wasn't had the year before, and it wasn't had, if it was had, it wasn't had with someone with $60 million for assets, So I say that to say that there's a lot of ground that we have to cover in this community, and they go in their way on the temple that no one's out there covering right now.
Well, that's probably going to switch to one of our priority items because I'm concerned because I know young people well enough. I got kids. And not for me, I'll tell you, my first job out of college that lived in school. Thank goodness he did this. He said, I really had a smackdown talk with me about retirement. And I immediately started putting something in. He got my attention. But the same way with these young schoolers, they need to understand two things. One, you better do it. Two, when you get out, whether it's 20 years or 30 or whatever it is, don't go blow that money. Because there is a day when you're not going to be as robust as you are now. And we're robust, I know that, but there's a day that we won't be. And when you're not, you don't want to be. If you're so score I've had around, never forget this. I was in a town called Stillwater, in Grady. Join late lunch, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 105 degrees, which you're used to that here. It's pretty hot. You guys, it's 105 degrees, 110 heat index, true story. I'm coming up to a stoplight. I see a lady, she looks 80 years old.
Yep.
80 years old. She's pushing a Walmart car This is 3/4 mile away from Walmart. Get in there inside her cab and she was driving to get across the street. What I did, joke around, man, can I help you? She said yes. She's sweating. Looked like she's about to pass out. Get her in my car, get her groceries. I drive her down the road to the apartment complex. Take groceries and let her off. Now, the whole meaning of that story, there's a reason she was pushing a cart 3/4 mile. Retired. She's 8 years old or so. You don't want to be in that position. And these young soldiers go blowing that, and they think that at the age of 40, you're going to make all the money. By the way, as everybody watch what's going on Social Security, and you'll let say for this person, so you would say. True. That's something to go with for you. Something to go with. I'm going to tell that story. We're ready to get over there. And I don't know how I can get into Fort Cabanzos, but I know people that don't have. Yes.
Well, it's one of the ways you can get that, sir. It's, get in contact with the gas command. And that's how it works. Which commanders like the garrison command.
Can you write this stuff in?
No, this is something you didn't know. This is company. That was one of the ways that Chris Kane did it when they were there. Also, so go back to what Fred said, where had a Theta strategic plan. I see catch these soldiers right when they coming. Like I said, we're under the old top. We're very good, but the problem is with the younger soldiers today. They didn't have the type of leadership we had back then that set us down and talked to us. The leadership that's in now, they're selfish and all for themselves. And these young soldiers or on the back, catch the backlash area of, the faith. I got someone honest as I'm a soldier, but if you are in charge of that soldier as their leader, you're obligated to set them soldiers up. Retired first one, and prior to my soldiers coming out, and I knew when they would get ready to go, I sat them down, and I sent them up there to that Copeland building, and they got the list of them, Gary soldiers that left me, and I made sure that from God one thing, and I saw them when they came to me, I saw them when they stepped from, and prior to getting out, they were set up, and still to this day, here in the warhood, like I said. A lot of consultants see me. But hey, Chris, I want to thank you for what you done to me. I say, that's my job. Unfortunately, these kids that are coming in now and get out, they don't have that luxury. So like Fred said, catch them coming in. If you catch them coming in, they've set up better for success. Versus on the back end, like get them in there clean. But the whole process, it's like get what you should be. Where were you at when I was, on to board? I really needed y'all. So these programs that we had under us, it helped us tremendously. These programs they have. And yes, like I said, they have them set up where they put a truck out to school, they go Pathfinder and all this stuff. It's there. But the problem is when these soldiers are transitioning out leadership, will not allow those soldiers to go to that stuff. They will try to work it all the way up until they about a week or two. Probably getting out there, that's something, hey, you can go see them now. So now that soldier finds themselves scrambling, and like I said, they got family. You're in the army where boy, they show from war to whatever. And that's why they say, soldiers say, hey, I hate the army. Why they army? They failed. And to some point, the leadership did fail. They worked them all the way up until time they still on and then you come tell me it's like man the first so hey, you can go clear that. I'm letting you back to crazy. Because now I'm literally scared. Because of the unknown factor that's out there. And like he said, catch them when they're coming in. And even when they're, I would say about the 180 days out, and you know that they're getting ready to change this out, they catch them again. So when they finally exit out, they go well and get paid for that world that's out there. I saw it tell them something that world is like climb. This king of the jungle.
guess what? There's some female, a blindness that's for kid, not great. Why I say?
That's a great Let me ask you something. You're down the filter, and I know what run through it. You said a little bit of a shock, but is it a shock when you get out?
Well, like I said, for me, I had the leadership, and some of my leadership tenure that I certainly, Minowski, served with me, Frank Hogan, and about some other people, they sat me down as at the office and said, hey, look, I'm in the military, but after you, hey, it's a great news, so if you times come to me, I back then, sat me down and told me about the financial stuff. And these guys, like, they was like, yeah, but sent me now. I don't need they shape, be a leader that I but they say me to be a better leader from I had soldiers and still officers that came under me because I could better compare me. So I would say, having those leaders, and then you take the gate, you put it with your claim and gave you with both government tables in for the exit strategy for your soldiers. So I did a lot of private agency, a lot of people that were formulated. Still to this day, I still a lot of people that I keep constantly that I served with. I've had soldiers that in fact calling me, hey, I really get out to like the body things you did. I'll tell you, really, your thoughts. You want to go just having that, have a little, slight increase back to and call it. You put the kind of red and quiet fade up and shut clock.
So if I'm just talking now, but if the line text, if we came up with some materials, could we run it past this grade? You guys can perfect it and we present it to you, said the garrison.
Gavin and
Oh, it is.
this is our people in the school.
How I tell me, I said that.
And I don't say that lightly. I say that because there's a wealth of experience that they have that says this wasn't established, and our foundation. This is what to do. We are literally service for a cause, and one of our cause is that community out there. So yeah, to partner for. It takes to partner with and serve for a cause to get that information on the street and say, hey, we can help you help yourself type deal. It's a no-brainer for us.
Okay, yeah. One thing that's being touched on is like being age that it needs to be continued education.
Yeah.
The military has a way where you have extra requirements to like handle training. You have to be responsible. You have to be 2 years. Just interrogation is like it's the annual requirement for every soldier to sit down, whether it's in a company format, the type format, it need to be financial links going on 10 years because the start and finish line is irrelevant. You don't take care of what's developed. Because being consultant, continuing education,
I want to say something. We're talking and we're getting on top of this financial advice, I feel. But I'd really like to go back to the financial piece of it, but we keep talking about military, turn this into a military operation. Service for a cause for the community. So we're talking about financial literacy from these soldiers and all this stuff that they got to put in. We need to focus on the students that are seniors in high school where they're not teaching any financial literacy. So there's a higher Texas Association right here will come up and develop a plan so that way when we search for a cause, you're ready to go speak to these children, not these soldiers, but these children who are going to be the future. That's what we need to focus on, as far as I'm concerned with podcast. But I would really like to get back on track with this financial literacy.
I have some that because this is a prime example of what you talk about here. Is that like, I'll be truthful about what me. Like my daughter right now, she just got a job at Microsoft. Excellent color. And I'm like, I can't believe all the benefits and stuff that she had. And me, and coming up, my brother tried now, they don't understand finance, they understand how they get a high school with diploma, and so they can teach me what I need to know. But I tried my best to teach her what she know about. Basically, I think I failed because but now she's still trying to figure out what she's gonna do with her money, how she's gonna invest her money now. But it come down to putting the money in the 401. I'm trying to guide her, but I'm like, okay, cook 5%, start with 5%. And she have what they call a stock option. I'm trying to figure out what is that all about. She can get a stock option where she can put, she buys stock from Microsoft, 90% that she paid instead of the whole money. Probably don't feel like she'll put all this out, but I'm saying, I think that is important for people to know this because it's companies out there that do that, but she's not understanding the whole process. I'm trying to help her in my oldest daughter, trying to help her with this process. But I told her that they have a financial advisor there that's trying to help her. But if she could have had that education back in college, when she went to college, Texas A&M, she would do all this stuff.
And good thing you here because he's about to teach all this stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes.
Have you ever heard of Pentagon Fraternity?
Yeah.
So I remember it was maybe might have been about 17 years ago. I remember them giving like I think it was E7s and above, and to certain officers you could get a $5,000 loan. It wasn't like you have to do a credit check or anything like that, but if you were E7 or above, or you were an officer, you just qualified. Right. And I know they made a ton of money back then. I don't know if they still do it, but I brought that up because it seemed like it was just providing an opportunity if it was almost like a reward. Since I met this goal with leadership in the military, this was available to me. And when I was doing one rank a little vacant that break, when I made it, I really thought this. What about the way? When I was like, wow, I qualify for this thing. It was great when I was able to get a car loan from the guy, and I didn't have to go through the car dealer for their financing. I just thought it was great. So my idea was more on the lines of if something is incentivized for folks, no matter what the military, civilian, high school, young, old, on something that's we all have a date with ourselves. So at some point we just try to walk here to stay here, right? And we all know that at some point in life we're gonna need health care, we're gonna need insurance, we're gonna need certain things because we don't have it at 60 with health issues. It's hard to get insurance, it's hard to get so I'm driving it home. The point is people need to understand the consequences of what you don't do.
That's a great point. And we Hard in Texas, we serve everybody's soul. Criteria is important to us. So are the schools. We got work to do to develop some stuff for the schools, military. We have some stuff here that's kind of the general population. It's the foundation of credit in your retirement. Those are two real critical things in your life that we can cover. So this gives me some thoughts to develop. So I think the discussion worthwhile. Honestly, I kind of segue into retirement primarily because everybody hopes you live long enough to retire. Whether you're civilian or you're military is so critical you pay attention to. And now the military is 401k. So you have that figured in 401k. Tell your kids and whatever, no brainer. Let's say the company matches 5% of what you put in, where you push 5% of these. And then the second rule of that is, with the company matching all per year, the golden percentage is around 15% a year. That's a real good number. And maybe you can't do 50, maybe it's 10, that's okay too. But do it, and don't take it out early. No, that's not good. So now, one of the things I'm going to talk about today, which relates to all this, a lot of companies, Microsoft you mentioned, I guarantee they have this option.
So you could borrow money against your 401k. And that sounds great. What I say to you is that it could be okay. Read the 5 prayer. I know certain place I looked at before, you could borrow, but when you borrow that money, where you borrow your money that you buy, they tie it up and they put it in something that doesn't earn anything because it's got to be secure. So you put in something, let's say it's earning 3%, and the rest of your portfolio is earning 8%. Kind of hurt yourself in a way. You know, I always say things like that. Taking out or going against your 401k, be very careful reading the fine print because it can really mess you up. Over time, you know, compounding money, and they say, you know, every decade your money doubles. Well, I guess, pretty much, and then some. So it's so critical. High school, college, because they don't teach it at school that much. So then teach it. Texas actually did get touchy a little bit at the high school level. Do they have any financial aspects?
But they have the research. My daughter was in business studies, and they did business largely. But it's not something that really accepted everybody. I'm not into it. It's not mandatory thing.
It's what the eldest one, you know, parents you can take whether they go to high school or then it's actually they'll attend high school. So, you know, then it is important we go to schools, really, you know, credit cards, name goods, home buying, and retirement. And honestly, of those, home buying, because it creates wealth, retirement creates wealth. Those are probably the two most important. The young crowd, you know, I feel for them in some ways because things are more expensive nowadays. So I'll think of buying a car, so I didn't buy a car. And you can imagine if you're a young family how hard it is to do those things. It's hard, and so they definitely need a financial partner that's trying to work with them without putting them in a bunch of debt. Some places they don't care. You know, they're willing to take you to do it. We don't do that. So today, the two things I want to impart: good credit, and they're retiring. I'm gonna give 5 steps. This is you guys are young, so you need to know this. When you take your kids, when you start retirement planning for it, what you start working. Yeah. I mean, you don't wait. You start putting a balance in for it, you can't afford not to. So you do that too. Number 2, think about how much money you need when you're going to retire. And that's hard to do because if you're young, you get some ways out. How much you need? What does it look like? You need to think about that. So the golden rule that you say have 80% of your money saved back. So you're going to retire, your Social Security, what do you pull out of your 401k or your pension is 80%. I say it depends on your lifestyle. You may have your house paid for. You know, it's really probably 79%. It just depends. All the athletic, let's see that. I think my number 3, prioritize your financial goals because when you're young, how many people really ever think to retire? Rich raised his hand. He's the one. It's not exactly on your high list. Number 2, if you could do it, always, Dave Ramsey says this, always have about $1,000 per seat club. Why? Watch the dryer break down, the car breaks down, and that's what you're paying, right? And then number 4, we choose the best retirement plan for you. This is hard. And I want to say something here. I personally like Roth IRA, but you don't get tax breaks when you put into a Roth. It's too late to get. But you know what, we all? I don't pay taxes. I got money that when I retire, I'm not paying any tax on it. Actually, I'm taking out this money, make that, and that's very nice. So there's most 401ks nowadays. They have a strength option. I'm not saying it put all in. It's something to think back to some minute. Then there's 401k. What's a traditional IRA? Let's say you work somewhere and they don't have a plan, but you better be putting something back in a traditional IRA. If you're self-employed, is anybody self-employed here? You are?
All right, well, you can do an SCP, a self-contained chocolate plane. There's that they call. There's a couple others that are really similar, simple RA. So, number 5, this is for when you're young, invest aggressively, stock market. You know, you can even get a lot of the 401ks now, they have those plans that, like, if you're going to retire in 2050, but they sell managed supporting good. If you don't know how to manage it, I'm not an expert in stocks. Let them manage it. Let them manage it. That's what they're there for. And your company hopefully has an advisor you can talk to help you out. If they don't, our company does have a bunch of employees they have somebody they can talk to. If they don't, get somebody because you want that money to grow at least grow at a rate that is better than inflation if you can help it, because then your money's worth more to on than today. That's the real short road to retirement. I'm really passionate about this for the younger crowd because I hear things. They definitely know off the radar, and they definitely not really want to put that they're gonna wish later they have. Everybody's heard about the federal government. Again, we don't quite have long-term enough money from Social Security. And so someday the day of revenue will come. I just hope again. So what one minute never happened. Well, it was up. So, and I have sheets on budgeting. I'm sorry, I didn't want to say that. I just wanted to pass out. I not do it because this budget sheet that I worked with accounting created back in Kentucky, it really just comes through, and it's really good for young families, honestly. It as you go through life, your different expenses, and when especially when money's tight, it's good. It helps you to realize where your money's going. And so this is something you can do on your own. It's a nice sheet. It's pretty thorough. And I always say the budgets, especially when you're raising a family, they're never going to be perfect. But at least you kind of have the feeling of where the money goes. Last tip comes back from the divorce game. I've had some exciting things happen on and off over the years, but that was, I would say, this is for men and women both. I recommend in a marriage, my wife knows where the money is, I know where the money is, so there's no funny baloney going on, because it's just, damn. She has a little slush brand, and she does, it's true. She can do whatever you want to do with that, baby. You can have it. And I have a little bit, there's got to be a little fun in it. But my point is, if something happens to me and I get hit by a truck, she's not on that side of where our money's at. What bills are owed or anything. No. Everybody knows that something happens to me, and this is hard to talk about, but it is important. And I'll tell you a quick story, and I got one that's crazy for this town. I won't give any names, but I will tell you a story. So, some people, if you get older and maybe you get dementia, my mother has dementia. Good. All right. It's the age. She's 85 years old, really big fun. So, you lose faculty, so you bank out money somewhere and you don't even know, you can't remember. You haven't told anybody, nobody knows. Okay? So, there's an account, like I was saying about money, there's some money. We didn't know where the guy was, had no clue. Tracked down, he died, called Theta phone, unfortunately, she's alone. Long story short, the guy was in jail, I'm in jail, committed murder. It's all right. But even though that happened to him, he had money. I mean, just the money. Quite a bit of money. Fear alone wouldn't give me what they called his sister. He had no twist. They said, hey, if you want to reach out to this crazy banker, he called, trying to find out where his family is. So she calls, and she says to me, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee with my brother. He's a murderer. Blah, blah, blah. I said, I'm out there to get by. I just wanted to get the money to get to his loved one. She said, is it worth my time? I said, yes, ma'am, it's worth your pocket. So she hires an attorney in Temple, Texas. And what happens? Attorney get that money done, it cost them probably $20,000. Trust me, I lost on $20,000 that the sister and the brother yeah. I tell that story because there has to be some communication as all something happens. Where that money is, I have a will. Something happens to me, but I know what happens with the money. That's hard to talk about, right? But you know, it's something that I recommend that puts consideration because that day will come for everybody, right? I mean that's a fact, a lot. So, any questions on anything? Florida, Texas is a great place. I love it. But the kind of building up your last story, at what point being institutions was that age me on the opposite end of saying, hey, you want to own, but it's 30 years, all up for me. Writers. Oh, man, that's a question. You know, there are laws. There's no energy discrimination. Yeah, they're all. And I had a client one time I met, and this is the one time I said something. I'll tell you what. It's because the home has values, so if they're over and they weren't basically there, you call that's with it. That's fine. But in this case, it wasn't fine. So Dylan comes in, his grandpa, great-grandpa, actually, he looked like he's probably 95, 99. Actually, I didn't know I said he was 92. He moved around. He was probably close to the end. He had great-grandson that never paid the bill of his life, wanted to buy a brand new $40,000 car to have this young man co-sign. It's one of the rare instances, and you can arrest if you want. I told great-grandpa, don't do this. Right in front of the kid's back. Don't do it. Because you're putting, the great-grandpa qualifies, you put the burden on his debt need and rights kid on everything when I think that it definitely worked. Was I right or wrong? I don't know. But to answer the question, age, discrimination, but when you've got people in your office that can send something that you're wrong, did you know it? Try to speak say that's how I've been. Great question. Other questions? Did it do lots? He didn't do it. He didn't do it. I've seen some of foolish things, so hey, what I will say, and I know this sounds bad, but really, if you're asked to co-sign for even if it's your son or your daughter, co-sign. It's your vote now. It's your credit. It's on it. It's your loan. If they don't pay, you have to. It hurts your credit. So you really have to think that over. Daughter wants to do all that now. Should I would do it. That's my policy. I would do it. I'd rather say it about it. Any other questions, guys? Yes, sir.
Thank you, person, but I'm a father. He's always right. So, what's the best? If you got a product, or is there a product that would be in the best interest for me? The say that what's he said, 8 years.
Yeah, you know what? I think you could do. We have a product. There's two ways you could do it. One, especially now the rates are going to go down a bit. It's a good time to get in the CD because they're going to drop some, and they're still high enough that you make money. And you open up the CD, you put some money in it, and you get on the account if you want to. You do this. You can set up so it's a minor be in their name, but you're on the account, and you can have say so if you want or not. But you got to make it clear that's his money. Orders. and do that. And the other thing, some do we don't have because there are educational
Bikes, the
negative 529. So for my grandkids, I am here. When I get my hair, I'm gonna do a little something in 529. And so when they get older, there's something here to help them with school or whatever. The trade, it goes trades too, you know, like traditional, whatever. To help because we all know that, you know, that's expensive. He's done some great questions.
the further you mind. For you right now, you fight school-free.
Yeah.
And when you start contributing at the age of 18, they can either choose that money to go to school, and they pull it out, it goes right to the school, and they try to get it back out. They take out this extra loan, well, that money will come back to you, and it's tax-free for the school. Let's say you don't go to school. Well, they can pull that money out to do whatever they want to do with it. Now they got to tax it. It's not beneficial to do with that. But you still have that estate right there in the way. You can also pull it out the roll over into the investment account.
You read to what's the old taxes?
Yeah, but it's one of those not go over that. If you roll it over, it's not taxed. But if you take it out with a fraud, then it's taxed. So you're not used to it for education purposes or retirement purposes. Yes, it's taxed.
And where you can also roll number to the grandkid. You have to get their education plus yes. Yes. You can be so that then a 529 will actually.
Yeah, 529. I did for my kids, all three. All the best thing they ever did. Yeah, I started when they were like 2 or 3 years old to just put a little bit in every month. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the best way is going home.
Just fueling me up. Some content.
No. Yeah. Any other questions? And I didn't even look at my watch. Okay, I'm a little more ready. I apologize. I know it will last till 12, but does anybody mind if we get our early? And I have to say, this is an amazing, I'll just say now, I've had a lot of fun with you guys, and women.
You said that.
You too. No, it was I had a great talk, I really did. I have fun with people, I enjoy people, and very passionate about finances. So my card is in each of these packages and I'm not trying to plug, listen, it's not because I worked out, I love hard things, spell printing, I love it. But my car's in there, and I tell people all the time, call me time for what, and call them, my cells, 405-888-1221, and call me time for what, Saturday, I don't care, Sunday, anywhere else. And, if you ever got questions, even if you don't open an account, call me. If you open an account, I'd love it. We'd like to have this business because we